So I work for an AI first hyper growth tech startup, and it's going fast. Things are accelerating. The industry is changing. Everyone's roles are changing, and the future is very unknown. I mean, I think some of us have predictions on where it's going, but I can't help but look at this time, especially as a Catholic, and think back to when the internet was really booming and we missed our opportunity, we as Catholics. Porn, gambling, social media, the atheist movement, they all just crushed Catholics and any movement, any momentum that we had. And it took a long time to get back up to the place where we could reclaim truth. And I think we're there. So it's kind of an interesting position to be in, because this should be a very celebratory time, right? Like, we have people converting, like there's new videos every day of people converting to Catholicism from some form of Protestantism or atheism. I mean, we're seeing it grow across all religions, but the church, the Catholic Church especially. And I mean, we know we're going to win in the end with the truth, because it's on our side. So that's not why I'm worried. Why I'm worried is I'm marrying these two concepts of, okay, we lost in the past because the internet boomed and we were way too defensive, way too quickly. We didn't build. And here's round two. You take a look and it's like, who owns these AI tech giant companies? Are they led and run by Christians? No, of course not. You can do some background searches to see what kind of interests and religious beliefs they have, or especially don't have. So that's not great. And then you look at tech as a whole, and it might seem like censorship is going down. But I don't know. I think there are some smart people out there that foresee this not being the case forever. And I think as Christians, as Catholics, we know for sure things are going to get worse before they get better. As the end time comes, as the end times come, we know that things will get worse. And it's a weird dichotomy of, like, it's actually kind of good that things are getting worse, because, I mean, for many reasons, right? There's greater saints come out of hard times, but also we're closer to the kingdom. So where I come in, my name is Zach. I'm a product builder. We've kind of changed our titles from product manager. So I work in a software, like I said, tech startup. And I want to see the Catholic Church go on the offense, culturally, technology wise. We need to build. And a little bit about myself. This is not my first rodeo. So I have 6 years of building products and working on very complex, highly technical features. But I've also done this back in 2017. I started Signum X, which is the Catholic apparel brand that I originally built for the same kind of idea, which is like, Catholics suck at making clothing. Christians are actually pretty good at it. There's quite a bit of apparel brands out there that are doing a great job, and I hope they do well. But Catholic apparel still sucks. Outside of like Veritas and maybe Saints Reserve are a few of the two, maybe the only two that are really doing well. No offense to the others. It's just that I think we live in a secular world that needs us to be culturally in it. We don't need to be the world, but we need to live in the world. And it's helpful when you wear things of the world to converse with those and bring them home. Like, that was the goal of Signum X. But that's one thing I've done. I've also started forming fathers. I did a podcast for only a couple episodes. Life, kids, job. I had to stop for a bit. And frankly, that's how I've approached everything, is just really prayerfully of like, is this what you want, God? I'm going to move forward. And then if you don't want it to happen, crush it, just destroy it, make it fail, help me learn lessons. And that's what's happened, frankly, the past couple times I've done something. And this could be the exact same thing. However, I see a market need to go very product minded for a moment, there is a gap in the market for Catholic creators. I think content, we're getting better, but everything from tech to, sure, apparel to podcasts to, like, we need to dominate this space because the vacuum will be filled and AI is moving 10 times faster than tech did back then. I can hardly keep up, and I work in this industry. I am reading the latest news every day. It's just that meme of, I wake up and there's a new technology advancement. I wake up and there's a new technology advancement. It's super true. And so what do we do? What does the parish volunteer do? What does the coordinator in the diocese office do? What does anyone in college trying to make a difference in this world, especially in tech, when you're behind if you're a couple news cycles back? And so I think what we need to do is really circle the wagons as Catholics and look out for each other, so that we can go out into the world. We need to first build ourselves up and make sure our brothers and sisters are equipped with the right means to do so. So I think that's where I want to focus this, is I want a bunch of people, a bunch of Catholic creators to come together and build cool stuff and then share it and collab. And I hope they do better than I've ever done in any of my ventures, because I don't care. The point is, if the Catholic Church is building all these cool things that are, proprietary to us, like Catholics building Catholic things for Catholic people, then we can have this parallel economy. I mean, Andrew Torba from Gab talks about this a lot. And again, +1 to the Christians, the Protestants, they are, once again, have a lot of foresight here of what is going to come. There will be clampdowns. There will be more blacklisting and shadow banning and debanking. And are we as Catholic Christians ready for that? And I don't think so. So we need to build, and we need to, that's one piece. We need to build for that, but we also need to build for the massive influx of especially Gen Z coming into the church. I think I am actually most interested and excited, and I have the most faith in Gen Z out of any generation, because they get it. They get the authenticity piece that a lot of people are missing. And it's interesting because they have this this hyper awareness of what's authentic and what's fake, which is why they're drawn to traditional Catholic circles like the Latin Mass and whatnot. And I think that's good. And we just want to channel that. Like, those people are hungry for the truth. They're going to get fed at Mass with the Eucharist, of course. But then what do? They just go back to their 9 to 5, and, we work to make someone else's secular dream come true. I mean, that might be the case for some of us, but I think there's room for a lot of us to, again, circle the wagons, help each other out. You flip over the, what do they call it? The parish bulletin when you get out of Mass. At least we still have this. And on the back, there's usually like, here's the businesses supporting our local parish. And, it's a bummer. Ours is like maybe 3 businesses, and then the rest are just like, hey, you can advertise here. That should be filled to the brim with businesses, and we should look out for our own. Go build, go use, buy your fellow Catholics' products. And if you have an idea, I guess that brings it back to the purpose of this channel. So this is kind of a ramble, but my vision is that we build together. And if you're an ideas person, if you're a designer, if you're an engineer, if you're a social person, if you're creative, whatever skill you have, it is needed. And AI, for all the bad, There's a lot of good that it does, and it can accelerate. I've been building in the couple hours after work and after the kids are down. I've been building my own stuff. And, back in the day, the limiter was either, let's see, time, money, or skill. Time is not really a limiter anymore because AI reduces that a ton. And then skill is also heavily reduced. And frankly, it's not even that expensive if you get one of the cheap AI plans, like $20 a month. Point is, you have good ideas, or you have skills, and you don't know what ideas to apply them to. But the Catholic Church has billions of people. Why are we not banding together and forming relationships and ventures and companies together? This is insane that we're not doing this. And it is so hard to find Catholic people that you work with. It's like a Where's Waldo book to try to find someone. So like, for example, I put together with some coworkers this discipleship group at work, and it started with just like 3 of us, and now it's expanded where there's like 20, and maybe 10 of us are hopping on a weekly call to pray and talk and then go back to work. And most of the people on there aren't Catholic, but they're all great guys. The point is, it's so hard to find, even in my own company, even where I know these people and like I should be able to pick up who's a believer or not. It's so hard. But we have so many millions of Catholics around the world. It's not even just US that we need to. We gotta circle the wagons. We gotta work together. We gotta build this parallel economy, these parallel businesses, because there will come a time that it's going to be needed, where we are going to be completely untouchable to work with. So this is kind of dooming, but it's a great time to be a Catholic. However, we need to be smart about this. And I think it's very foolish if we think that things are just going to get better and then like Catholicism is going to rule the world. I think that's very short-sighted, because Satan will not, just like God will not be mocked, Satan is not going to want to be mocked for long. And I don't think he likes the fact that the West is reverting to traditional values in Catholicism. So that's the call to action. Join me on this, whatever this adventure is, but I want to bring you together with me and other people that are unknown right now, but we're going to work together, and we're going to identify who's a builder, who's an ideas person, who's all these things. We're going to pair up. We're going to solve problems. And frankly, this isn't, like I said, this is not I want the glory so that my personal brand grows. It's if what you do takes off, great. Finally, someone did it. Let's support that. Build free things. So what I'll do at some point, if there's interest, is I'm a lector at my parish. Like, put my money where my mouth is. I care about this a lot. And we're just sending emails right now. Built a small app using Google Sheets and set it up with Claude, where it'll send this nice email every week on a cron job to all the people, and they just go through and click on which days they're available, instead of just everyone emailing back this poor woman who has to every month go through a spreadsheet and like meticulously put it in herself. If we can free up the people that are feeding God's people, then we are succeeding. For some of us, it is feeding the homeless. It is doing the food pantry. It's being a lector. It's being a Eucharistic minister, whatever it is. That is true. Do that. But we should also use our talents to grow our local parishes and sure, dioceses, and businesses. There's no reason we can't do this. And the barrier is not there anymore either. Like AI has really unlocked it. And this is not just like buzzword stuff. And I think, we can be careful. Like we shouldn't be using AI to write our homilies. The priest should not be doing that. But it's perfectly acceptable to say, here's the problems of the parish, of my business. How can I solve them? So, a lot of you are smart. Join me, find others, let's band together and help prepare the church for the inevitable. We will be ready and we will know how to work with each other, how to identify each other. And we don't need anything else. And as long as God is with us, we will be fine.